so yo, I had to retake the whole video because I ain't gonna lie, I was struggling, bro. But well, this video is gonna be mainly about how to wholesale, because I know there's somebody out there who actually wants to wholesale. So I'm gonna teach you, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experiences on wholesaling real estate. I'm gonna show you how to get off-market leads on one county from Florida, because at the moment I'm only doing Florida, and that county is gonna be Polk County. I'm gonna show you the contract that you get with the seller, the contract that you get with the buyer, and I'm gonna show you the admin, which is for you to add a little more time if your buyer haven't fully log in, so the contract with the seller doesn't die. That's only if the seller agrees though. And I'm gonna show you the cancellation contract if you ever need a cancel contract with the buyer or the seller. With that said, I'm gonna show you how to skip trace the leads. I'm gonna teach you how to run comps, average, all of those things with one of the websites that I use. I don't get promo with this shit, so I'm gonna tell you, but I ain't getting no promo with it. But it's ProWire, Redfin, and Zillow. I check all three of those to always get right comps. I suggest you use the AI because it's 2026. You're a business owner, and you probably are young if you're watching this. Really depending how old are you, or it doesn't matter. Learn how to use AI. Just know AI is not gonna do everything for you, but it's the simple fact of it's gonna make it a little bit easier. You're still gonna struggle. You're still gonna go through things. So I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy, but it is gonna be a little hard. So yeah, lucky. Do what you gotta do, okay? So basically, I'm gonna end up showing you Marion County because Polk County just had a whole outreach, I guess, on 8 p.m. and right now it's 5 p.m. I'm not gonna wait to record this because I want to get this over with so I could finish editing it so I could show it to you. Okay, so this is Marion County at the moment, and you're gonna click where it says document type. You're gonna look for LP, which is list spend, and you're not gonna look for nothing else. By the way, this is to pick up house leads, okay? You could find some land leads on there, but I mainly use it for house leads. I don't pay for softwares at the moment, and neither do I pay somebody for acquisition. I'm doing everything by my own. So you could do it as well, or whatever you want, really. You could pay if you want. It's not that expensive. I just don't want to pay for it at the moment. Later on, I got other plans. But basically, we are looking for list pending, which is LP. So you're gonna look for LP, and next to it says list pending. You're gonna click on it. It's gonna say date range from to. So that means that we are looking for right now at the moment, since this is August when I'm recording this. I'm gonna put July, right? I'll put July 1st. To I'm gonna just put so we don't get like 1,000, and I could clearly show you all these 2-3 list pendants. By the way, I'm explaining whether it's an LLC or whether it's a regular person, because the defendant clearly has to be has to be a name. It could be an LLC, but the problem is that when it's a business owner, sometimes they are mainly renters, buyers, or they are just somebody who buy the house and put them under the business, and when they get sent to list pendant, they either take care of that later on or they just don't care for real. Not always LLC is gonna want to do with you, work with you, and things like that. So yeah, so like I said, July 1st, let's put it onto July 20th. Okay, you're gonna click search. You already got the list pending mark. You got from, and the date range, you got from 7/1 to 7/20. So boom, we have 161 total records. I'm gonna have to blur these out. Private information, as you know. We got names, we got all kind of things like that. And yeah, so look, the first one is a land trust. Like I say, it's a land. As you can see, you can find lands. Marion County is pretty good with the land, things like that. I don't know what's going on right now. It's not fully loading, I guess we're gonna have to click on another file. So the page is not loading, like it's loading, but it's not showing me the paper. At the end of the day, what I'm gonna tell you is, once you click on a list pendant, if it's you're gonna see if it's a defendant. On Marion County, at least, you don't say defendant, you say first party and second party. First party is the one throwing the list pendant, which could be the bank, could be the HOA, could be things like that, could be a person, could be another person too. And the second party, since we are looking up Marion County, the second party is the person that is a defendant, that is the one that is technically about to lose the property over something like HOA, mortgage, and like I told you, another person. So on this one, is somebody with a name, it's not a LLC. So what that means, that they will, if the equity is right and all of those things, they will need your help. Sometimes the address doesn't pop up on the lease pendant page. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna look for the mortgage, and the mortgage technically tells you the address of the house, of the property. So right there, you are gonna look, right? You already, let's say you already, sometimes it appears and where it says link document. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna click, you're gonna look for the address, and the address is gonna tell you where is at. It's an address, you already know, common sense. So with the address, what we finna do is we finna go for a sample on PropWire, because that's the first one I check it in on. So we're gonna look for the address right here. I'm not putting an address or anything like that. Anyways, I'm gonna have to blur these out because the addresses. But I'm just clicking a random house on Ocala, which is a Marion County city. And well, right there, you're gonna see the, I like PropWire because the simple fact that it tells you an estimated of the equity, so you can already know if it's a good one or not. I technically do 40% equity. You could do up to like, I think it's 35, 25. By the way, there's things that are called subject to and short sale, which short sale and subject to, I think, is when your buyer takes over the mortgage. They don't just pay it all. I usually just do regular wholesale, which is cash. And right there, what we're gonna do is the buyer pays off the whole house, basically. By the way, the buyer takes care of your assignment, the end closing, and the seller, right? So what does that mean? That technically what you're gonna do is you're gonna get paid for selling the property in it. So what you're gonna do with that, after you already check the numbers, you check the comps, because right here it tells you on PropWire, it tells you comps. You're gonna click where it says, I do max a mile away from the property. You're gonna click on houses. You're gonna put almost the same age, square footage, all of those things. You could put either last year. Sometimes I suggest to look it up, 6 months max, things like that. And well, if it's a good lead, let's say you're looking for 35 and up, equity only, right? It's a good lead. You throw it all in the AI with the screenshots, with everything. And right there, what you're gonna do is, after that you already got all the numbers, the name, all of those things, what you're gonna do next is you're gonna go to either True People Search or Fast People Search, and you're gonna put the name. You can either look it by the name and the city and the state, or you can look it up by address. And with the address, sometimes it's a little bit hard, sometimes it's a little bit easier, but you can find the person. And right there, True People Search and Fast People Search is gonna give you. By the way, let me look for Fast People Search so I can show it to you. Don't mind my background. Fast People Search, right there. See, same thing, name, city, address. And right there, what you're gonna do is, when you skip trace them, if you don't know, once you skip trace them, what you get is the, I forgot now, something that is so easy, I forgot, my bad. You're gonna get number and relative. So it's the familiar people, the family. It's not always accurate, by the way, because come on now, people change their phone numbers and their emails. But yeah, you're gonna get phone numbers, emails, and relative. And well, right there, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna get that, and you're gonna grab it. You're gonna make it into your format, which you're gonna put it either in a CRM that you pay for in the software, or me, for example, I'll put it on my notes. I'll put it on Google Sheets. Sometimes you could write it down if you want. I don't write it down anywhere, but on my notes or Google Sheets. And from there, you already got the numbers, which is the contact info. You got the numbers on the house. And next, what it is, you're gonna text, call, or email the person. I do text and emails. I call once a while, really depending. Sometimes they only got landlines, so I do call those more often. If it's a really good lead, I give them a call. I don't try to spam. I don't like spamming. As you know, probably I already say this on all the videos. I'm not a wholesaler that spams. There's other wholesalers that be spamming, but let's be real, you're not a telemaker. You're not getting paid to spam people. You are getting paid if you love deals. And then, so what that means for you, you are going to go ahead and just text the person, right? Explain how you could solve their problem. Don't do anything else but explain how you could solve the problem. Don't focus only on the money. Because if you focus on the money, you're already smelling desperate, and you're smelling like, what are you winning out of this? Exactly. But you explain that, look, I'm the best at what I do. This is how I do it. Of course, when you start, you're not the best, but you're still gonna have a little confidence on yourself. You're gonna put a little confidence, and you're gonna go ahead and tell them, look, I can help you like this. I work with private investors. I don't work with just any investors. I work with my private investors from my list. Sorry. I work with private investors, and well, me and my investors, we buy houses. If you're doing lands, we buy lands. We pay for closing because the buyer, like I said, pays for the closing. And then you go ahead, and that's really the max right now for just this. So boom. The next thing that I want to show you is the contracts. So what I'm about to show you, like I said, like I mentioned at first, is gonna be the main contract with the seller. Because by the way, you need a contract with the seller, contract with the buyer, right? You already got those two. Now what you do after you first log the contract with the seller, you send it to a title company. You're gonna call title companies. You're gonna tell them, look, do you guys work with assignment contracts? Do you guys work with wholesalers? Because sometimes you tell them wholesalers, they don't know what it means. So you're gonna tell them, do you guys work with assignment contracts? Which an assignment contract, what that is that in the contract it says that you could assign this contract to the seller, to the buyer. So that means that you're an investor, okay? Put that in your mind. Some title companies don't work with wholesalers with assignment contracts, but some do. So what that means that you're probably gonna have to call 5. You're gonna have to make sure. From my experience, I'm gonna tell you like this: there's like title companies where they don't do their work right. They will just, I don't want to get too deep on it, but the only thing that I want to get deep on and explain to you is the fact that what they don't do right sometimes is that they skip steps. So look, you could send a contract over, right? After they say yes, and they go ahead and just send you an email like, okay, good, we're gonna work on it. That's wrong. Don't ever fall for that. I did it when I first started wholesaling because I didn't know. I only watched one video and I took action, because that's what you gotta do. You're supposed to watch this video if you understood and take action, or whatever. So the title company went ahead and just sent me an okay. I'm like, okay, cool. And they will call me. They'll be like, oh, how is the buyer doing? I'm thinking, oh, this is how it works. We're chilling. No, that's wrong. Title companies are supposed to send you a whole receipt on an email saying, look, we are going to start. This is the case number. This is all we're gonna look for as soon as you send us the buyer. Remember, the buyer is the one paying for the title and everything. So he's paying the closing fee. So that means that the title company is getting paid to do all the background checks on everybody, to do all the checks on the property. They are supposed to know, since this is less pending, they are supposed to know as well. You're supposed to ask them, do you guys work with list pending? So that means that pre-foreclosure houses that could go into foreclosure if it goes further. They sometimes say yes, sometimes they don't know how to, or they just skip those steps. That's the whole point. You can't skip steps. You can't work with somebody that skips steps. So yeah. So right now I'm gonna show you the contract with the seller. That's the first one I'm gonna show you. Okay, I'm sorry, that was the contract cancellation. This is the buyer one. Okay, right here. Purchase and sale agreement. Okay, so where it says this agreement is made between seller and buyer, which you are the buyer on this contract. I'm not saying that you're not the buyer. You're not gonna pay it with your money, okay? But yeah, you put the seller name, you put your name with your last name, seller name, last name, your name, last name. Seller agrees to sell and buyer agrees to buy the following described real property together with all improvement fixtures and personal property described below. So address, city, state, zip code. And then there's gonna be the exhibit attached. My English, my bad. But yeah, the purchase price to be paid as follows. So EMD deposit, which at first I used to put 1,500. I feel like it's a little spooky, so I feel like we should put 5K. You can put whatever you want, but for me now, I'm putting 10K. Why? Because I want the buyer to actually look in. I feel like with this, buyers feel more like, okay, this guy know what he's doing already, or this person already knows what they're doing. And the total price, you're gonna put how much is it. By the way, you could make your own contract. You don't have to follow my contract. I'm just showing you the contracts that I have. So boom, EMD deposit, that's non-refundable. Once a buyer put the deposit on the title company, that means that it's non-refundable. They have to either buy the property because they have the funds for it, or they will lose the deposit. We don't just give that shit back, okay? So look, earnest money, I put that the earnest money, it has to be transferred to the title company within 14 days of the acceptance and ratification of the offer. So what that means, that the EMD deposit, has to be processed already by the 14 days after the background check on the seller is done. So right here, it's gonna tell you everything. It's gonna tell you what title company you have. You're gonna have to put on the thing. By the way, go over the contract with the seller. Sometimes they want it, sometimes they just want to read it along because they know already how it goes. So I suggest that you told them, look, you could check it out yourself. I give you a day if you want to. If you need more, I give you more time. Don't put a date until you already know that they want to sign. Until then, just leave it blank. Put your signature if you want, and there you go. Then you're gonna look. It's gonna be boom. So the closing will be held at title so and so, and sellers. Okay. So damage of the property. If they damage the property, you already seen the pictures after you're talking to them. So if they damage the property, they pay for that because they are supposed to leave the house intact to how you saw it the first time. If they max want to claim, they could claim. That's it. Inspection date after the 14 days of the contract. That's how I have it. Basically. Buyers should have 14 days from effective date. So effective days, let's say, is August 10th, right? So that means that you got 14 days that you could plan for. Look, these 14 days, boom, right there. Anyways, you can speak it over with the seller. But look, date, if it's two sellers, so let's say husband and wife, they both need a sign because they both in the title of the property. So date, the date they sign, and buyer. By the way, I forgot showing you something, and it was the fact of, look it up, is rabbit hole. That's for you to send free contracts, so they can sign that and you can sign that as well. They could get on their phone, they could print it out if they want to, and you send it through email, a link, whatever it is. It's free. You should check it out, even though I ain't getting paid for that shit. But yeah, boom. So that's the first one. That's the contract with the seller, right? So now I'm gonna show you the admin. So the admin and purchase and sell agreement, right? This is to extend the time if you had any struggles getting a buyer. That's why I suggest for you to actually look for buyers before you even start picking up leads. Because the simple fact that if you look for buyers, let's say you're doing 2 counties, Polk County and Marion County by yourself, right? Or with a team, whatever it is. Look for buyers around the area. See what kind of single family, mobile homes, condos, townhomes they want. Because right there, you don't have to always use an admin. An admin is just the backup net. If that seller actually fuck with you, and you know that you could end up getting a buyer. So the admin is just to extend the time. It's gonna be almost the same thing. The seller name, both of the seller names if there's 2 or 1 seller, names, your name, property address, date, title company, inspection period. You're gonna put it again because you already want to wait. So yeah. And the signatures and the title company. That's about it. And then we're gonna go to the buyer one. So with the buyer one, it's almost the same thing. The difference is that you're gonna put your name and your last name. By the way, you're gonna put the dates. My bad. So your name, your last name. You're gonna put the address that you reside on, that you live on. You're gonna put a phone address, email, and then assignee. So that's the buyer, like the actual investor. So you're gonna put name, address, email, phone. Okay. So original contract, you're gonna put the date that you put with the seller. You're gonna put it on where it says original contract. Seller name and buyer and assigner, which is the buyer, the end buyer at the end. For the purchase of the real property known as property address, legal description of or parcel if it's available. It's gonna be available. You can look it up on ProWire. It's gonna pop up. And boom, that's SAGNY fee. So that means that your spread, that money, that what, boy? You want that money in it? That's where you put it. If it's 20K, if it's 15, if it's 5K, if it's 10, if it's 50K, if it's 100K, whatever you get. Don't open your eyes. Don't fucking open your eyes. Yes, it's possible, but it's not easy. You gotta actually want this shit. Put the days, the hours, the minutes, everything. Some days you're gonna go 0. Some days you could actually go 100. Some days you could go 50. Some days you could go 20K only. Some days, as a matter of fact, some days you could only close 1 contract and that bitch fell. So don't get too hyped and put the work in if you want it. So you put your money, right? Let's say 25K. Boom, 25. What you're gonna do is at closing through the title as follows. So that means the title company name, they're gonna pay you at closing. So they're gonna pay the seller whatever is missing, and they're gonna pay you. So that means that they're gonna pay the whole wire, the whole check, whatever it is, through the title company. The title company is gonna separate the money. By the way, this contract has to go to the title company, okay? Because if not, you're not gonna get paid, and they're not getting a house either. Because this contract needs to be legit, so they gotta send it to the title company. Okay. So assignee deposit. So this is gonna put the agent name. So because when you speak to a title company, they give you an agent. By the way, I'm sorry, this video is pretty long. It's just I really didn't want to be struggling cutting parts. I was really struggling with the old one. But back to the conversation. My bad. I be changing conversation. I got ADHD. By the way, give me just 1 second to drink Red Bull. So when you speak to a title company with the seller thing, with the first contract with the seller, they're gonna give you something that is called an agent. That person is the one that has your paperwork. They are the ones taking care of you. They are the ones that are gonna be calling you if they need to call you about a problem, about anything. They are the ones that you call directly. When you call the title company, you ask for that person. You can email that person as well. That person is gonna email you telling you, look, so and so, this is what's going on, this is how it's moving. There you go. And then as the sum of, that's the deposit money. So let's say 5K, let's say 10K. That's the deposit money, so they don't run away. Because if they run away, that's non-refundable. Anyways, it says it right here on the contract as a non-refundable deposit. The deposit should be applied towards the assignee fee and or closing funds as stated by parties and closing agent. So you and the agent will communicate about that, and you're gonna see if the deposit should be towards you or towards the title company and the buyer or the seller. You get what I mean? So yeah, closing agent title. So that means that the name, address of the title company, phone number, and email. Boom, boom. That's about it, really. Let me see. Okay, this is not needed. Then sign, name, your signature, date, the buyer name, the signature, and the date. And that's about it. Okay, and right here is the seller. The seller is gonna have to sign this as well, I think. Yes. I don't think. Yes. He's gonna have to sign out as well. I don't know why I said I think. That's on me. Because I use the same contract. So yeah. Don't copy my shit. Go make your own shit. Go to AI and make it more complex. Because anyways, I gotta fix this. Because this is the contract I used before. So yeah. Seller is gonna put the signature, the name, date. And then that's the assignment with the buyer, right? Here is a contract cancellation agreement. This one you could copy if you want. It's really not a big deal. Contract cancellation date, the date that you guys are canceling the contract is if you know the deal is not working out for you and you want to cancel it. If the seller wants to cancel it for any so and so reason, it be like that. Stop tripping. I already know how you got your eyes open. Like, did you cancel the contract? Yes. On the first contract, it literally says it. That you and the seller could agree mutual to cancel the contract. So you could tell the seller, look, I want to cancel, or the seller could tell you, look, I want to cancel, and you're not gonna hold them hostage like, you can't cancel. Who are you? All right then. Seller name and buyer. So both of your names, signature, date, over. You send that to the title company. Title company take care of it. Delete the file. And this is gonna be the last one that I'm gonna show you, and it's gonna be JV, joint venture agreement. This is if, for example, you're a fresh wholesaler, or you just can't find a buyer, and me, which I don't know for if I want to do it with you, but me, you could come at me if you're a wholesaler, and you could tell me, look, can we do JV? You think you have a buyer for this property, for this land, for this house? And I'm telling you, let me check. But you gotta be careful. Don't give your address just cause. Don't give everything just cause. You get me? It's a JV for a reason. The JV is supposed to protect you and the person that you're doing JV with, so you both could get paid. Right there is gonna ask you for a lot of things. As you can see, it's gonna ask you for your name, the person name, email, phone number, all of those things. I mainly wanna, if I ever do JB, because I have it, because I tried to do JB before, I'm the type of person that I'm pretty fair. I think it's pretty fair with the person who's actually gonna move fast enough. You get me? Without rush, just move fast enough. They actually gonna pay attention to it, the money on the table. I'm the type of person that is pretty fair. I split 50-50. You can split 70-30. That's on you guys with the person. That's not on me. I do 50-50 with motherfuckers. So yeah. This is the last contract I'm gonna show you, and that's it really for this, which is the how to wholesale basically. If I have anything else, let me make sure right now. I show you contracts. I show you one of the county clerks, how to pick up off market, skip trades, comps, average, spread. So once you get comp and average, you could get spread. If you know that there's enough liquidity, don't be trying to force deals. I told you there's short sale and short sale and subject to, which is almost is the same shit basically. Make your own list of buyers. That's the second one. And by the way, if you get to this part of the video, drop a comment if you want to. If not, I'm gonna be cool. I'll be cool. Drop a motherfucking comment though before I grab you by the neck. But well, no, actually, if you get by this far of the video, thank you for watching. I want to tell you, I'm gonna give you the last words, and it's gonna be about my journey. I don't like making videos like this no more, because the simple fact that if you go back to my older videos, it was mainly me working. It wasn't me always explaining this. But well, this is so if you're interested in wholesaling, you can learn how to wholesale. My journey, if you're interested on my journey, you want to learn with my journey through my mistakes that I might speak about on my other blogs and things like that. I'm always speak about my mistakes. I'm gonna speak about the momentum that I'm seeing, the actions that I'm taking, things like that. I'm gonna show you a little bit through my day. I'm trying to get used to it. So my social medias and my YouTube channel is mainly about my journey. I didn't like to force content only on the business, because I wanted my personal page. Yeah, that you know what I mean. Your social media persona? No. What? Hell no. The other coin, bro. The other face of the coin. I wanted people to know me on social media, not just because of my business, but because of who I am and my journey. I wanted people to follow my journey so they can get motivated and all of those things as well. So yeah, my social medias, my YouTube channel, and all those things is gonna show you both sides. It's gonna show you my business, but it's gonna show you more me, my journey, things that I'm learning, what I think, or how I feel, and how I see things on the journey. How sometimes I drop a little motivation. I don't like dropping motivation because I don't run on motivation myself. But yeah, that's how it works. And hope you enjoyed the video. If you came from my social medias, thank you so much. If you just found this video on YouTube, thank you so much. Give it a like, comment if you want, subscribe. I'm waiting. You subscribe? Good. I had to do it. Ew, what the hell? I look ugly like that. But cool. That's about it right now, and I think I'll let it go right now.